If this weren't some pure underdog wish fulfillment fantasy, who could imagine that an ordinary working stiff like me could actually marry a top trending superstar as a life partner? She's the nation's goddess. And what's even more unbelievable is that she pursued me. What kind of scenario is that? It's like, never mind. Even I'm losing confidence just writing this. Before the Qingming Festival, I went to a shop selling funerary items and bought a huge pile of offerings, really just hoping for wealth, good fortune in relationships, and peace of mind. I knew it probably wouldn't work, but it counted as a nice wish anyway. As I was putting the things in the trunk, I spotted a talisman on the ground covered in symbols written with a cinnabar pen. Thinking it had fallen out of the pile of stuff I'd bought, I casually picked it up and tossed it in with the rest. When I got home that evening, I started organizing the items for visiting the grave. Funeral offerings really keep up with the times these days. They had everything, including things like smartphones and smartwatches, feeling very high-tech. No idea if the underworld even has electricity, though. Besides those, there were also paper bank cards and passbooks, and even notification forms that needed to be filled out. Then I looked at that talisman. There was actually a line of text on the back. Write the name and birth details of the person you like on this side, and you will be lovingly together forever. I didn't have a girlfriend, so I wrote down the name and birthday of my favorite popular actress, Shen Yue. It wasn't real anyway, just for fun. Early the next morning, leaving the cemetery and planning to drive home, I never expected someone to suddenly dart out onto the deserted suburban asphalt road. I yanked the steering wheel and slammed on the brakes. The car skidded, nearly hitting a tree, and my head almost smacked the steering wheel. Engine off, handbrake pulled, hazard lights on, seatbelt unbuckled. I pushed open the door, pointed at the person, and yelled, "Are you crazy?" Rushing out like that early in the morning. If I hadn't braked in time, I would have hit you. You scared the hell out of me. Looking at the black skid marks on the pavement, my heart ached. This was my brand new car. It almost got totaled. Still shaken, I patted my chest, shuddering at the thought. If I'd actually hit her, I'd probably be working to pay off the damages for the rest of my life. I walked up to her. "Are you okay?" She looked up. Our eyes met. I froze. The person standing before me was Shen Yue, who hadn't been seen in public for ages. I rubbed my eyes in disbelief. She was wearing a simple hoodie and jeans. Although she had on a black mask covering half her face and a white baseball cap, there was no mistaking those expressive eyes. Shen Yue looked a bit stunned too. Seeing my furious expression, she instinctively took a step back and steadied herself. "I'm sorry," she said. "I was in a bit of a hurry, wasn't paying attention." Even though she was the celebrity I admired, I had to stick to my guns. That was incredibly dangerous. What if I had hit you? The last thing I want is to end up in the trending headlines. Then something occurred to me. What are you doing out here in the middle of nowhere? Where's your management team? Your bodyguards? She pointed back the way she came, looking flustered. "I'm really sorry. Our film crew was shooting night scenes on location over there. They already left." I got held up for a moment, and then unexpectedly, my driver and assistant suddenly got food poisoning. My phone's dead too, so I came out hoping to find someone to help. Hearing this, I told her to get in the car. Following her directions, we arrived at the spot she mentioned, a large, yellow, sandy slope backed by a dense pine forest. When the wind blew, the trees rippled like green waves. It really was a good location for filming. As soon as we reached the location of an RV, we heard the sounds of a man and a woman vomiting uncontrollably inside. Opening the RV door released a pungent smell. I'm no doctor, so I couldn't determine the cause of their vomiting. Shen Yue grabbed my arm, looking extremely anxious, muttering, "What are we going to do?" I opened all the car windows and dialed the emergency number, explaining the situation clearly. The person on the other end said an ambulance was already on its way and told me to perform first aid on the two first by making them drink lots of water. I brought over a whole case of mineral water from the car, twisted open a bottle cap, and handed it to Shen Yue. "You make the assistant drink. I'll handle the driver." Shen Yue helplessly held the assistant's head. "How much should I give her?" I opened another bottle, pushed it into the driver's mouth, and said sternly, "Give him as much as you can. Even if he can't drink anymore, keep pouring it in until the ambulance arrives." She looked hurt. "Why are you being so harsh? Can't you just say it nicely?" I took a breath. "Lives are at stake. Please understand." The ambulance called me, saying they couldn't find the location and needed me to go meet them. Just as I got up, Shin Yue grabbed my hand, then immediately let go. Don't go, I'm scared. I turned to reassure her. Wait for me. I'll go get the ambulance and be right back. They can't be left alone in this state. She glanced back at the two, hesitated for a moment, then hurried back. I drove to the intersection to meet the ambulance and led it back. The paramedics quickly moved the two onto the ambulance. They asked one of us to go with the ambulance, but she absolutely refused to go. I understood that as a public figure, it would be inconvenient for her to go to a place like the hospital. So I handed her phone, told her to contact her manager, and paid the ambulance fee in advance. This way, she avoided having to go to the hospital. She couldn't drive the RV and hoped I could take her back to the city. I agreed. After all, she was my favorite celebrity, someone I'd only ever seen on screen before. Now I could interact with her up close. It felt like a tremendous stroke of fate. After dealing with everything, when it was just the two of us in the car, I finally felt incredibly nervous. A huge star was sitting right next to me. Perhaps because the atmosphere was too awkward, she initiated the conversation. Thank you so much for today. If I hadn't run into you, I really don't know what I would have done. It was nothing, don't mention it. I could feel her looking at me, and I couldn't help but blush. I still don't know your name? She asked. Lu Jincheng. And you? I felt awkward as soon as I said it. It just slipped out. I immediately apologized. Sorry, big star, that was too familiar. She shook her head gently. It's okay. I'm not really a big star, just an ordinary entertainer. That's too modest. If you're just an ordinary entertainer, then no one in the new generation would dare call themselves a star. Have you seen any of my acting work? It was like opening the floodgates. I rattled off the shows she'd acted in, the songs she'd sung, the variety shows she'd participated in, listing them like ordering dishes, familiar with every detail. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at me. I didn't realize you were actually a fan. I felt quite proud. Of course. Otherwise, how could I have recognized you instantly, even with a mask on? The surrounding traffic started to get heavier, and our speed slowed down. Looking at the traffic conditions, I asked, where should I drop you off? She replied, let me treat you to a meal. Consider it a thank you. Having lunch with a huge star? What kind of loser fantasy scenario was this? Is that convenient? She quickly said, it's convenient, very convenient. I genuinely want to thank you. You helped me out enormously. If something had happened to them, my career would definitely have been affected, as if afraid I would refuse if she delayed even a second. Celebrities always eat at high-end clubs or restaurants, and the names on the menu were things I'd never even heard of. She took off her mask as soon as she came in. There wasn't much difference between her in person and on screen. My heart started pounding violently again, and even my steps were slightly trembling, as if walking on air, just like a dream. It wasn't until I sat down across from her that I felt like I had fallen from the clouds back down to earth. The waiter didn't seem overly excited upon seeing Shen Yue, treating her just like any ordinary customer. It was clear that the clientele here were either wealthy or influential. She had the waiter hand me the menu. I didn't look at the dish names, only glanced at the price list and was stunned. A simple stir-fried, seasonal vegetable cost triple digits. I really didn't dare order anything, so I handed the menu back to the waiter. I'll follow your lead as the host. I'll like whatever you order. Shin Yue's face flushed slightly. Peanuts and walnuts, black phoenix claws, garlic sea cucumber with caviar, golden thread beef, white magnolia buds, bamboo shoots with morel mushrooms, ginger fish maw chicken soup, sizzling eel slivers. I clear my throat lightly. That's too much. We won't be able to finish it all, right? She closed the menu and said to the waiter beside her, for soup, bring me the clear broth vegetarian bird's nest, and for him, a portion of golden hook shark fin. For dessert, almond tofu. And she looked at me. Would you like anything to drink? I refused. No, thanks. Drink and don't drive, drive and don't. I scratched my head, realizing I'd mixed up my words. She looked at the waiter. Then just bring these for now. We can order more if it's not enough. The waiter smiled and bowed slightly. Very good, Miss Shun. Melodious piano music, a splendid restaurant, exquisite tableware, elegant plating. The dishes were incredibly refined. Most importantly, across from me was an incredibly beautiful face, which made me unconsciously act more refined, like a gentleman, moving gently and carefully. By the end of the meal, I wasn't even sure if I was full. The whole experience felt magnificent. But reality quickly brought me back to my senses when a bill was placed in front of me. I froze. Just as I was about to speak, Shen Yue said with a smile, "I'll get this." She was supposed to be paying anyway. Perhaps the waiters here assumed the man should always pay for the meal. Unexpectedly, just as Shen Yue picked up the bill, she seemed to realize something. Her face flushed red, and she said to the waiter, "Could you please bring me a glass of lemonade?" "Thank you." After the waiter left, Shen Yue said to me, "I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Liu. I seem to have left my bag and phone in the RV." I quickly took out my wallet. "It's all right, I'll pay." Still blushing and feeling embarrassed, she said, "Consider this one my treat. Owed to you. I'll treat you next time." I took out my credit card. "No problem. For a fan to be able to treat their idol to a meal, it's an honor of 3 lifetimes." The waiter came over with a tray and placed the lemonade in front of Shen Yue. I stood up, picked up the bill, and said, "Check, please." Looking at the bill, I knew this meal would be expensive, but I didn't expect it to be this expensive. The peanuts and walnuts were nearly 400, the black phoenix claws 300, that caviar dish over 2,000. The total was 5 figures, plus a 10% service charge and a 6% VAT. If it hadn't been Shen Yue sitting across from me, if it were anyone else, I would have thought she was a shill hired by the restaurant to rip me off. Indeed, what's just a simple meal for the rich is completely beyond my reach. Entering the PIN, signing the slip, my heart was bleeding. After paying, this bill alone was enough to brag about. Now I could say I'd eaten at a high-end establishment. For ordinary people, forget spending money in a place like this. There's usually a barrier just to get inside. My task wasn't finished yet. I still had to take this big star to her entertainment company. Watching her retreating figure, she left in such a hurry that I didn't even get a chance to ask for a photo together, let alone any contact information. On the way home, I slammed the steering wheel in regret. If only I had sneakily taken a picture during the meal. Otherwise, who would believe I'd had lunch with the famous star Shen Yue? Based on the bill, who'd believe I was actually the one eating there and hadn't just stolen a picture of the bill? It's not like I could cut open my stomach to prove what I ate. Some damn romantic luck? This is clearly a romantic disaster. I thought it was all a dream, but the bank notification about the charge told me it was all real. How should I put it? It was bittersweet. I got off work as usual, drove back to the underground garage, and arrived in front of my parking spot. Just as I was about to reverse in, a red sports car zipped in and crashed into my spot. That's right, it crashed into it. With a loud bang, it seemed like a serious impact. I don't get angry about people grabbing parking spots like this. Even if it's my spot, I'm willing to let it go. So, I had to park in a public spot. Walking over, I noticed the car's engine was still running. Curiosity drove me to see who this ill-tempered rich person was. Unexpectedly, the steering wheel was spinning wildly on its own. How many soul rings were powering this thing? Could be that the previous owner just took over the account. Truly a case of front wheels don't turn, but the steering wheel does, Smita. Looking at the driver, she was holding her phone, asking something. So familiar. Unexpectedly, it was actually Shen Yue. She noticed me, snapped her phone shut, and pushed open the car door. Lu Jinsheng. I was surprised, a gratified smile appearing on my face. I didn't expect you to actually remember my name. I'm truly honored. She frowned slightly. What are you talking about? After what we went through together, how could I forget? I looked around. Are you here visiting relatives or friends? A big star like her wouldn't live in a standard apartment building like mine, right? Of course, I came to find you. I asked, puzzled. How did you know I live here? She looked smug. That's a secret. I can't tell you. As she put on a mask. Are you planning to just stand here chatting with me? Aren't you going to invite me up? Or is it inconvenient because your girlfriend is home? I swallowed. Of course it's convenient. I'm single. She motioned that we could go. I pointed at her car. Shouldn't you turn off the engine first? Realizing, she ducked back into the car and turned off the engine. Thanks for the reminder. As the elevator slowly ascended, I felt my heart pound nervously again, my palms sweaty. Damn elevator. Usually takes forever to arrive. Why is it so fast today? I entered the passcode. Welcome. After she went in, she instinctively bent down to take off her shoes. I quickly stopped her. No need, no need. I don't have any women's slippers prepared. You can keep your shoes on. Saying this, I turned on the lights in the apartment. Sit anywhere, make yourself at home. She looked around, her gaze finally settling on my face. It's quite cozy. Did you design it yourself? Yes. No, I found a template online and modified it slightly. I was getting flustered. I didn't have anything at home to offer guests, so I immediately took out my phone and ordered some fruit and snacks for delivery. What would you like to drink? She nodded at me. Water is fine. Luckily, I had some bottled water at home. I took out the best glass I owned and washed it thoroughly. Placing the water in front of her. Why did you suddenly come looking for me? A playful expression appeared on her face. Surprised? Unexpected? I was stunned. Was this the real demeanor of a big star in private? It is quite surprising. And for a big star like you to come looking for me alone late at night is certainly unexpected. Aren't you afraid I might be a bad guy? She was full of confidence. Not afraid. It's a woman's intuition. From the first time I met you, I knew you were a nice guy. Such an ambiguous answer. Wait. No. Is she giving me the nice guy card? Whatever. Being friend-zoned by a big star is still something to brag about. Suddenly remembering something. Last time things were rushed. I wanted to ask if we could take a photo together. Is that okay? She stood up. Of course. Just as I took out my phone, an incoming call caught me off guard. I had just hung up when the person called again. Hello, who is this? A strange man's voice came from the other end. Hello, I'm a poor, skinny delivery guy. Your community security guard is too fierce and strong. I can't get past him. Could I trouble you to come down and pick it up yourself? I really didn't want to go, but I want to be a good host to shun you away. Wait for me a moment. I'll be right back. I opened the door and rushed out. I wanted to see what kind of weirdo this delivery guy was. He was still there, hands on his hips, pointing and cursing loudly at the security guard. Such a character. Truly hard to handle without enough young energy. Luckily, the guard didn't let him up. Kudos to the responsible security guy. After arguing back and forth for quite a while, threatening him with complaints, and exceeding the delivery time, finally subdued him. Without even checking if the delivery was complete, I rushed back, eager to return. On the way, I thought about what to talk about with Shun Yue, gossip, secrets, or relationships. I looked up a few jokes, planning to liven up the atmosphere appropriately. Fully prepared, I took a deep breath and opened the door. The room was empty. I want to slap myself. I put down the delivery and headed to the underground garage. Damn elevator. Slow when you need it fast. Fast when you need it slow. I could definitely have to complain to property management. By the time I got to the underground garage, the red sports car was gone. Only the debris on the ground told me she had really been here. Dejectedly, I returned home. It must have been because I wasn't sincere during the ancestral offering that things went so badly. As I was clearing away the water cups, I found a napkin tucked underneath. Picking it up, I saw a phone number written in lipstick. Isn't this fate arriving? She must be busy now. It wouldn't be convenient to call. I'll wait until she's finished. I saved the number on my phone, placed the napkin between my palms, clasped my hands together. Thank you, ancestors, for your blessing. That night, I lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep, staring at the phone number Shun Yue had written herself. I sniffed it. It smelled so good. The thought that this was the very lipstick applied to Shun Yue's lips instantly made my heart flutter. I pressed the napkin to my own lips. It seems I have the potential to be a Saising fan. A bit creepy. I got up groggily, having spent the night half asleep, half awake, my mind racing with random thoughts. I took a sip of water and suddenly came to my senses. She's a big star, and I'm just a junior employee. We're two people from completely different worlds. I don't know if it was coincidence or the talisman working its magic that brought us together, but this encounter itself is already great fortune. To have any further improper thoughts would just be insensible of me. This isn't just a toad wanting to eat swan meat anymore. It's aiming straight for Chang'e. I dismissed the unrealistic thoughts from my mind. Working hard and earning money is what's real. Eventually, I'll find an ordinary person I get along with, get married, have children, and live out this short life peacefully. That would be good too. Driving to the office, quite a few people were discussing the hit new drama series whose female lead was Shun Yue. She filmed it last year, and it was just released this year. A female colleague gossiped with those around her. Did you guys know? She wasn't originally supposed to be the female lead in this show. She saw the script was good and got her rich, big-shot godfather to invest, snatching the role for her. Another female colleague nodded. I heard that from a gossip vlogger too. Do you think she and her godfather slept together? Is that even a question? A godfather isn't a real father. Of course they did. Exactly. It's the entertainment industry. This kind of thing is totally normal. I heard there are rumors about her and a male lead of this drama, Ito Makoto. Do you think it's true or false? It's just manufactured CP hype. My Gidge wouldn't be interested in her. Exactly. The topic strayed further and further off track. I really wanted to stand up and tell them to stop talking nonsense. But in what capacity could I say that? As a diehard fan? What a joke. I couldn't possibly win an argument against so many mouths, and besides, there was no need. Let them say whatever they want. It has nothing to do with me. Recently, the team leader in our group got promoted, and upper management needs to appoint a new one. I'm considered a top candidate, and the former leader has praised me multiple times in front of management. But I have a feeling that the more I'm praised and seen as promising, the smaller my actual chances of becoming the team leader are. After all, upper management is also afraid of people forming cliques below. If they pick the wrong person, their departure might involve more than just one individual leaving. So, I'm rather indifferent to everyone's premature congratulations. It's just a team leader position. Anyway, becoming one doesn't significantly increase my salary, and I'd have to constantly attend courses and meetings. While getting coffee in the break room, a male colleague I'm reasonably friendly with came over holding his cup. Want to hear some inside news? Seeing his secretive manner, I asked, what inside news? A big shakeup in upper management. I thought it was related to me becoming team leader, but it turned out to be about the higher-ups. What does that have to do with small fries like us? The big boss isn't going to promote me to general manager, right? He chuckled. You never know. Don't forget me when you make it big. Me too. The company has an internal cafeteria. During lunch, I saw a young, handsome guy arguing with the lady at the food counter. Walking closer, I heard that he wanted to eat and pay with cash or a QR code scan. But the rule here, meant to prevent outsiders, is that payment is only possible by swiping an employee badge. The surrounding area is full of high-end office buildings. If you don't eat here, the only options are ordering takeout or going across the street to the ground floor lobby of another office building where they sell boxed lunches. I took the employee badge from around my neck and handed it to him. Don't give her a hard time. It's not her decision to make. The handsome guy, blushing, took my badge and glanced at it. Lu Jinsheng, thank you. But employee badges are strictly non-transferable, is the first rule in the employee handbook. As he spoke, he flipped my badge over, revealing the rule clearly written on the back. What a psycho. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you, completely misinterpreting good intentions. Just as I reached out to take my badge back, he waved it slightly. Don't let it happen again, got it? That tone. Anyone hearing it would think he was my boss. Maybe he is. Given how young and arrogant he talks, he might just be the relative of some big shot, parachuted in to be our new team leader. Without an employee badge or someone escorting him, he definitely couldn't have gotten past the building's security turnstiles. Those guards aren't just standing around. After getting his food, he returned my badge without even a word of thanks. This further solidified my suspicion. Another frustrating day. Just as I sat down with my tray, unexpectedly, he stuck to me like glue. He sat down opposite me. I looked at him curiously, yes. I don't know anyone here. Got no one to talk to. It ruins my appetite. If you don't know anyone, just eat quietly. What's there to talk about? Lu Jinsheng, how many years have you been with our company? Here we go. Seriously, you really want to chat? 5 years. He tutayed twice. 5 years, and still a regular employee, P6 level. Your progress is quite slow. Do you even hear yourself? At my age, with no connections or background resources, this level isn't low. Okay? But I couldn't really say anything, so I just grunted and... Do you have any opinions on our company's organizational structure and management style? I answered decisively. None. Absolutely none. Are you kidding? Who knows if one wrong word from me will reach the higher-ups. Then I'll be accused of bypassing the proper channels to report issues. I'm not taking the fall for that. He sighed. Seems the company's problems aren't small if ordinary employees don't even dare to speak the truth anymore. How did he gather that? His single sentence made my heart pound. Can't I even eat my lunch in peace? I quickly finished eating and stood up. Take your time. Remember to put your tray on the return rack. After saying that, I fled as if escaping. In the afternoon, I was listlessly tapping at the keyboard, hitting backspace 6 times for every 10 characters I typed. A colleague patted my shoulder. Congratulations. I looked at him, completely baffled. What for? HR will talk to you tomorrow. Looks like it's settled. I checked my work email and messaging apps. There was nothing. How do you know HR is going to talk to me? He lowered his voice. I overheard something when I dropped off materials at HR. It's pretty much certain you're going to be our team leader. Congrats. Remember to treat us tonight. My expression soured. I felt agitated inside. Who knew if it was an appointment or a dismissal notice? Nothing's confirmed yet. Let's wait until it's actually decided. The colleague left resentfully. Should I proactively admit my mistake? To whom? Admit what? What did I even do wrong? Closing my eyes, I thought, whatever happens, happens. On my way home after work, just as I left the garage, I ran into that young, handsome guy again. He bowed slightly towards me in greeting. Hello, could you give me a ride? I really wanted to say it wasn't convenient, but I was afraid of offending him and having him make trouble for me later, so I let him get in the car. Where are you going? East Lake International Tourist Resort. I hit the brakes. That's not on my way. He pulled out a thick wad of cash. It should be very much on your way now, right? Who flashes cash like this nowadays? Looked like nouveau riche. I just didn't understand why he wasn't driving himself. With that kind of money, wouldn't taking a taxi be better? Taking a taxi lacks status. Besides, we're practically friends now. Just come with me this once. All expenses today are on me. Young Master Fu. Seeing I was still unmoved, he pulled out a ticket. This should do it, right? I only glanced at it, but confirmed his identity as a few or die. It was an admission ticket to a top-tier lingerie show, a VIP seat closest to the stage. Invitation only, not for sale. On the way, he asked me to stop at a flower shop and reached over to honk my horn. 2 shop assistants came out carrying an exceptionally large bouquet of tulips. Young Master Fu told me to open the trunk, and they placed the flowers inside. Flowers that expensive looking were definitely for girlfriend. During the drive, I asked him why he didn't drive himself. Head down, fiddling with his phone, he said, I just got back from abroad. I don't have a local driver's license. Plus, I drove right-hand drive cars overseas, so I'm not used to the driving habits here. Soon, we arrived at the resort. An electronic screen scrolled. Welcome to the cast and crew of neurotic heroine and her 4 sets of fraternal twins staying at our hotel. Hotel staff helped carry the flowers down and delivered them to the suite door. Young Master Fu knocked on the door, one hand in his pocket. I was standing behind the flowers. The door opened, and unbelievably, it was Shen Yue. Young Master Fu immediately gave Shen Yue an enthusiastic hug. Meanwhile, Shen Yue and I made eye contact. She was overjoyed and surprised. Lu Jinsheng, what are you doing here? Young Master Fu turned his head, looking at us. You two actually know each other? I quickly said, we've met a couple of times. I'm a fan of Shen Yue. Young Master Fu introduced me to Shen Yue. Since you know each other, I won't make lengthy introductions. Not that our superstar Shen needs one anyway. She's incredibly famous. Who wouldn't know her? He laughed proudly as he said this. Shen Yue playfully punched his chest. It was clear they were very close. This scene stung me deeply. It felt as if something inside me had been taken away. Without saying goodbye, I went back to the car and drove home. I skipped dinner. Staring at that familiar yet distant phone number, I was about to delete it when, unexpectedly, she called me. I hesitated, wondering whether to answer or not. She had a boyfriend now, and even if she didn't, what role did I play in her life anyway? So I chose to let the phone keep ringing, silenced it, and ignored it. The incoming call screen lit up the dark room. Turning the phone over, the flashlight shone even brighter. Drowsily, I heard someone knocking on the door, thump, thump, thump. It seemed they wouldn't stop until the door was opened. Rubbing my sleepy eyes, I glanced at the video doorbell. It was actually Shen Yue. Instantly wide awake. What was she doing here? Alone, so late at night. What if something happened to her? Just then, the door opposite mine opened. My neighbor across the hall, a burly man, emerged. What's with all the knocking so late at night? I quickly opened my door, pulled Shen Yue inside, and said to the man, sorry about that. Then I quickly shut the door. She glared at me. Why haven't you contacted me for so long? Why did you leave without saying goodbye? Why didn't you answer my calls? 3 questions right off the bat. I didn't know how to answer. Don't you know I was worried about you? I scratched my head. Sorry, my phone was on silent. Wait, why should I apologize? We weren't really involved. I poured her a glass of water and had her sit down. Is there something you need? She was speechless for a moment. After a long pause, she lowered her head. I think I kind of like you. I thought I'd misheard. A big star confessing to me? What did you say? Her face flushed red. Oh, come on. Nice things aren't said twice. I'm just an ordinary employee. I can't give you anything. She shook her head. No, you give me a sense of security. Don't you have a boyfriend? She looked up confused. Who are you talking about? What did that mean? Did she have many boyfriends? Shin Yue explained. Ito Makoto was just for publicity. He has a girlfriend. That guy's surnamed Fu. It dawned on Shin Yue. Oh, you mean Fu Xinxing? That's a misunderstanding. He's my younger brother, from the same mother. I see. But why didn't they both have a surname, Fu or Shun? Never mind, I wouldn't ask. After all, it was their private matter. Seeing I wasn't speaking, she asked, Do you have any other questions? No, no more questions. So, me? She stood up, almost pressing against me, our eyes meeting. Then, will you be my boyfriend? I wanted to hold her, but my hands, just raised, dropped again. I asked myself, was I worthy? Aren't we? A bit mismatched. She pouted playfully. Are you afraid I'm not good enough for you? I got flustered, quickly waving my hands. You misunderstood. I'm afraid I'm not good enough for you. She suddenly hugged me. If I say you're worthy, then you are. Throughout the night, we talked a lot. The most intimate we got was just hugging. She fell asleep nestled in my arms, while I was too excited to feel the slightest bit sleepy. This was a famous superstar, and now she was my girlfriend, something so real I wouldn't dare dream it. I pinched myself. It hurt. It wasn't a dream. My ancestors must be smiling down on me. She suddenly opened her eyes and looked at me. Aren't you sleepy? My chin rested on the top of her head. Not sleepy. She snuggled deeper into my arms and said playfully, Is it because you're too excited? How are you so clever? You even know what I'm thinking. She poked my chest, near my heart. It's called being on the same wavelength. As dawn broke, I saw her off to her car, saying a reluctant goodbye. After washing up and changing clothes, I had just arrived at the company when I was called to the HR department. The HR BP routinely asked me a few basic questions, then had me outline the future prospects for my position, and finally asked what kind of support I hoped to receive from the company. I answered smoothly and fluently. He nodded in satisfaction and then let me go. The promotion was practically guaranteed. I just didn't know what level I'd be promoted to. At worst, it would be team leader. My future brother-in-law, Fu Xinxing, was sitting in my office chair, looking at me with displeasure, glowing with delight on a happy occasion. Aren't we? Lu Jincheng. I greeted him, good morning. He shot me a glance. Good my ass. Aren't you being a bit unreasonable? Even if we're not friends, we were colleagues at least. What was the meaning of leaving me there all alone? It seemed Shun Yue hadn't told him anything. I rubbed my hands together. Sorry, something urgent came up yesterday, didn't have time. Your girlfriend needed you, right? Let me tell you, as someone who's been there, brothers are like hands and feet. Women are like clothes. You can't spoil your girlfriend. A man needs some backbone. You can't just do whatever she tells you to. You're not a simp. A guy like you. What kind of beautiful woman couldn't you find? You're not married. Worst case, just find a new one. But friends are different. It's not easy to meet someone you click with. We get along pretty well. I consider you a good friend, so you have to listen to your big brother's advice. I hope you can say this with the same passion in front of Shin Yue. I glanced at my watch. It was already working hours. You didn't come looking for me, just to chew me out, did you? He stood up, chuckled twice, then rubbed his hands together and took out his employee badge. I'm here to report for duty. I took his badge and looked. He was actually in our department. I quickly shook his hand. From now on, you'll be my subordinate. He shook my hand with one hand and patted my shoulder with the other. Don't be so formal. Let's keep things separate. At work, I'll call you leader. Outside of work, you call me big brother. You really don't stand on ceremony, do you? Never mind. What can I do? He's my future brother-in-law. Just before getting off work, my official appointment came down. M1. The first step after a promotion is, of course, treating everyone to a meal. The old leaders must be invited, and none of the subordinates can be missed. The newcomer, Mr. Fu Xinxing, was naturally on the invitation list. With over 10 people, it's best to let the guests follow the host's arrangements. So Hot Pot was the best choice. As a boyfriend, I naturally had to report my plans to my girlfriend. She didn't say anything, just sent some cute emoji stickers, meaning she understood. No feast is complete without alcohol. I raised my glass to flatter the boss. Whether he helped or not, I had to express gratitude for the support. I also had to thank my subordinates for their help. As long as they didn't try to trip me up or report negatively behind my back, that was the greatest help to me. After all, I would rely on them to achieve results for further promotions. Fu Xinxing, perhaps relying on his background or as a result of his foreign upbringing, was a natural social butterfly. Even though I was supposed to be the man of the hour, he was there singing and dancing, busy having a great time. That was fine too. It spared me from getting drunk and left me with some energy to go home and let Xin Yue know I was okay. When I went to pay the bill, the cashier told me it had already been paid. I thought Fu Xinxing had paid it. Upon asking, Fu Xinxing explained it wasn't him. It's your promotion dinner. Why would I pay? I understand that much etiquette. If not him, who could it be? I scanned the crowd. None of them seemed like the generous type, and the old leaders were even less likely. Just then, a message came from Shen Yue. Waiting for you in underground parking, lot C-126. This is the downside of having a celebrity girlfriend. You can't just meet whenever you want, and even when you do meet, it's like some shady underground rendezvous. I got into the back seat of the van, and she eagerly pulled me into a kiss, almost making me swallow my chewing gum. Congratulations on your promotion and raise. Thanks. Is there a gift? She took out a pair of rings. This model is my private custom design. Were it usually to stake your claim. Saying that, she took my left hand and put the ring on my middle finger. After being affectionate for a while, Mr. Fu's mood-killing call came through. Leader, where'd you go? Where are we meeting for the second half? I gave him an address, and he hung up. Xin Yue kissed me again. Have fun, go home, and rest early. I reluctantly let go of her hand. Talk later. After getting out of the van, I exchanged a few pleasantries with the old leaders and saw them off one by one. After leaving them all, I hailed a taxi directly and went to the place Fu Xinxing and I had discussed. They had already booked the room. Fu Xinxing, like a general inspecting troops, pointed, this one, stay. The rest of you leave. Bring in the next batch. As soon as I appeared at the doorway, Fu Xinxing pushed the 2 young women he'd just selected into my arms. Serve him well, he said. He's our guest of honor today. I took one look. Good grief. What kind of aesthetic was this? The 2 looked like thunder deities. Stick some fur on them, and they'd be ready for the journey to the west. Not my cup of tea. Let someone else have them. Fu Xinxing didn't push it. He grabbed the microphone and went into full karaoke hog mode. I ate some fruit from the platter and drank a bit of yogurt drink. Everyone was drunk and staggering. After I settled the bill and was preparing to head home, a large hand clamped down on my shoulder. Fu Xinxing, his eyes bleary with drink, grabbed my left hand. Why does this ring look so familiar? Seems like I've seen it somewhere before. My interest was piqued. Where have you seen it? He peered at it, then scratched his head. Strange. Why can't I remember? I pull my hand back. It's just a common style of ring. You see them everywhere. It's not surprising if you've seen one before. Hearing my explanation, he nodded. True. After finally managing to get rid of him, I hailed a ride-sharing car. Surprisingly, it was the exact same model as my own car. A familiar red sports car was parked in my parking spot. I gave a knowing smile. Just park the car in a public spot nearby. He looked at me, puzzled. What? I explained. My girlfriend took the parking spot. The driver shrugged. So, what's that got to do with me? Aren't you designated drivers supposed to park the car in the spot? If I drive now, it's drunk driving. Don't think I haven't seen the news. If you're trying to scam me like this, forget it. Seeing how aggressive I was, he immediately sounded aggrieved. Bro, do you even hear yourself? If not, let's just call the police. I drive a rideshare. Getting you here is my job. I don't have to give you the car too, do I? I quickly apologized. I'm really sorry. Our cars are the same model. I drank too much and got confused. Just like that, Shen Yue and I spent a sweet and happy year together. For the last 6 months, we kept our relationship underground, and the paparazzi never caught on. Tomorrow is the first anniversary of our confession to each other. I prepared her favorite tulips in advance and bought the latest luxury necklace. It pained my wallet a bit when I paid, but thinking about how this carefully chosen necklace would look on her elegant, swan-like neck still made me very happy inside. I set the date location at the amusement park. It's always crowded there. Holding the tulips, I checked the time. There was still a little while before we were supposed to meet. Just then, a man wearing sunglasses walked over and handed me his phone. "Buddy, could you take a picture for me?" Just as I took his phone, my own phone rang. It was Shin Yue. Saying excuse me to the man, I answered, "Where are you? You arrived already? Where? I can even see Makoto. How come I don't see you?" The man in sunglasses said, pleasantly surprised, "You recognize me? Let's take a picture together." He started walking closer as he spoke. Just then, Shin Yue told me over the phone that she was on the Ferris wheel behind me. I handed the phone back to Makoto. "Sorry, I'm in a hurry." Makoto stood there holding his phone, completely bewildered. Am I really that unpopular now? Arriving at the Ferris wheel, I looked up. "Where are you?" Suddenly, someone tapped my shoulder. I turned around to see Shin Yue, wearing a white bucket hat, her signature black face mask, and a white trench coat, her eyes brimming with laughter. She naturally linked her arm through mine, and we got onto the Ferris wheel. I took the necklace out of its jewelry box and opened it. She glanced down at it, then turned around, presenting the back of her neck to me. I gently put on her. She turned around, unbuttoned her shirt slightly, revealing her collarbone. "Does it look good?" I nodded firmly. "It looks good." While I picked out this necklace, I was thinking how beautiful it would look on your neck. "Thank you, dear." "You're welcome." After getting off the Ferris wheel, we played many other amusement park rides. In the evening, after watching the grand fireworks display, we embraced passionately under the brilliant fireworks. She pushed her mask up a little, and we couldn't help but kiss. As expected, it became a top trending topic. Popular actress Shin Yue's relationship exposed, couple sweetly tours amusement park hand in hand. Although masked as a famous superstar, how could she not be recognized? Several entertainment bloggers compared Shin Yue's everyday photos with the candid shots taken at the amusement park yesterday, trying to confirm the authenticity of the news. As for the man's identity, nobody knew who he was except those who knew me. However, someone revealed they had run into Makoto that day, suspecting Shin Yue's mysterious boyfriend was him. But after comparison, it didn't look like him. Makoto's fans cursed Shin Yue for leeching off their oppa's popularity, while Shin Yue's fans questioned the news' authenticity. The internet exploded with arguments, and I was also affected. Many people wondered if I was the one dating Shin Yue. Starting from the front desk, every female colleague looked at me strangely, but they quickly dismissed the idea, thinking it was impossible for someone like me to date such a big star. It was simply unbelievable. Only Fu Xinxing didn't question me right away. Instead, he grabbed my left hand again. 5 seconds later, he suddenly pushed me, his gaze unfriendly. I knew this ring looked familiar. My sister designed this herself. "Huh, Lu Jinsheng, I treated you like a brother, and you're trying to become my brother-in-law. Fess up, when did this start between you two?" I could hide it from others, but this was my future younger brother-in-law, so I chose to confess honestly. "We knew each other before I knew you." He waved his hand dismissively. "No, I don't approve of this marriage." I shrugged. Neither of us gets to decide this. He took out his phone directly and stormed out, puffing his cheeks. Half an hour later, he knocked and entered my office, bowed respectfully towards me. "Hello, brother-in-law." I was very curious why his attitude had changed so quickly. He looked aggrieved. "Brother-in-law, you have to treat me well from now on, not like how I treated you." "What kind of talk is that?" I said. "Don't worry, I'll definitely treat you well." The trending topic ended with a post from Shin Yue containing a picture and text. The picture showed our hands clasped, fingers intertwined, revealing matching couple rings, but only our hands were shown. It was captioned, "My love is just an ordinary person. Please do not disturb." The comment section was also closed, but under other gossip bloggers' short videos, messages of blessing were still the majority. Her so-called godfather was actually her biological father. He had divorced Shin Yue's mother, and since she went with her mother, she took her stepfather's surname. And Shin Yue's biological father, unsurprisingly, is one of the major shareholders of our company. That's why Fu Xinxing doesn't defer to anyone in the company except me. 2 years later, we held our wedding as planned. After marriage, she entered a state of semi-retirement from the entertainment industry. She often lounged on the sofa, playing games on her phone, or watching dramas with a face mask on, doing nothing else. I kindly advised her, "You should do something when you're free, maybe shoot a commercial." My husband supports me. Why should I do anything? I roll my eyes. Do whatever you want. She suddenly stood up. Let's do it. I turned and ran. Fu Xinxing, carrying bags big and small filled with gifts, was just about to knock when he ran into me opening the door. He looked puzzled. "Brother-in-law, where are you going so late?" Without looking back, I said, "Going to work overtime." He glanced inside, didn't even put down the gift, and immediately chased after him. "Brother-in-law, wait for me. I'll go too. I'm scared."